I told you, it's something to do with our hydration and dehydration. Now, this is a very, very common problem we human beings have been facing on this planet Earth. And I was surprised actually in my medical field. I never thought of hydration as one of the important aspect because we never look into it unless a patient comes to us with diarrhea, then vomiting, and then has some problem. That is when we all look into the hydration part of it. But whereas normal people, we don't even look into it. And it was after the terahertz resonator was introduced, I started going a little more deeper and then starting to find out what exactly is all about the water molecule. And before this also, I was doing a lot of research on water related situations wherein I picked up a lot of information. But finally, terahertz was the one which gave me a breakthrough to penetrate and then look into a much more wider and bigger picture. So when we are talking about hydration, it plays such an important role. And I would rather prefer to concentrate more on hydration than dehydration, because dehydration, most of us don't even look into it because we don't know that is basically the dehydration problem we are facing. But at the end of the day, if you know how good is hydration, then automatically we are into a situation where we want to be hydrated. So thank you all very much for this wonderful opportunity, for giving me this platform to share my medical views, as well as I most probably prefer to give some general talks and general information so that everybody understands much more easier. So 85 episodes, thank you very much, and let's move to our now. As it is, even today, when I ask people like, how much of water are you drinking? Do you know that water is very, very important? Most of us are confused. They don't know how much of water we are supposed to drink and why should we drink a sufficient amount of water, most of it. And like it's always multiple ways, and then there are a lot of gadgets out there available in the market, which actually makes people a little more confusing for them to understand that water is something which they need to look into. And very, very important is many of them don't know the properties of water. This is where I find that on this platform we are able to make you much more easily understand why the properties of water plays such an important role. So whenever with this, as you see here with the artificial intelligence, AI, we know a lot of things can be changed. But at the end of the day, what happens to you and me is we need to either get clear or get confused. Many of the time we get confused. Why? Because you would have definitely experienced this in your life, especially using your Google map. You put one particular area to go to that particular place, and then finally you see you'll be going round and round and round. At the end of the day, the place is there only, the location is there, but you're going around. But our human intelligence is so good that we can actually pinpoint and pick up with our natural instincts where exactly we are going. So in that way, even though artificial intelligence has overtaken our human intelligence, I would say we all need to develop our intelligence through regular upgradation of knowledge, regular reading, and regularly attending courses where we can pick up information so that it can upgrade our intelligence in terms of knowledge. Now, there will be a lot of people down here on the platform where they have been attending my this weekly sharing. But still, what happens is you would notice that every time we speak, we try to give something different, because at the end of the day, you need to get a new little information. Even though there are wonderful, beautiful speakers on this platform where they would be sharing a lot of beautiful things, I feel it's always better we give something new. So always each person will be giving you some new information. So saying that, what exactly we are talking about today's hydration is what you need to do. Number one, we all need to take individual responsibility towards whatever we are doing right now, so that at the end of the day, we need to work on a proper platform to move forward. Means you need to pick up the right information, you need to execute the information and practice it. For example, if you're going to pick up the information about resonating the water, and you're picking up the information on the terahertz resonated water, you need to understand few steps in this, so that when you speak to people, you should be able to give them the right information, and in turn they also should feel that yes, whatever information you have given is makes some sense, and at the end of the day they need to also use our resonated water. So at the end of the day, we are looking at what can they be benefited in their general health. This is what we are all looking at. So when we are looking at helping our fellow human beings, what do we need to do is, as of today's topic, it is actually the same coin, but you're looking from two different angles. One is the hydration part you're looking, but another situation, when you don't have hydration, what will happen is it's called dehydration. So why not we look at a situation where we have sufficient amount all the time? It's always better to have a proper backup of our hydration part. It's just like, you are in your bank. If you have sufficient money there, definitely it gives you a lot of confidence for you to run your life. But just imagine, like in dehydration, where it loses. So in the same way, if you do not have money in your bank, definitely it's a situation like dehydration. There are a lot of complication because you don't have the money, something like that. But just imagine, your cell doesn't deal with money, but what is happening is, definitely the water going inside your cell makes a lot of difference, which in turn, the benefits what you get out of drinking sufficient amount of water will make every tissue, every organ in your body to work to its optimal. So ultimately, the optimal working capacity of your cell will happen only when there is proper hydration. Now, among the human beings, as you know, we are all the most evolved. And have you seen animals most of the time, unless unless it is the water scarcity is there, definitely the animals will make sure that they go drink water. 100% they will do that. Now, when it comes up to human beings, why is that we are not doing it? And that too, if you take in the 21st century, with all the facilities of, carrying a bottle, there are so many easy accessibility for us to drink water. But still, why is that we are not able to hydrate ourselves optimally for us to function optimally? Why is that we are not doing? There might be many reasons. Like for example, you're driving in a traffic, and then but still there also, what I would say is, if you're driving for a very long time, have the bottled water with you, and then so that you can just sip in the water regularly, so the hydration part takes place. But what problem most of us will face is, because our car is air conditioned. Now, when you have an air conditioned car, you will never feel hot, right? That means your body doesn't require extra water. But imagine 40 years ago, we all never had an air conditioned car. That time, you see, we will feel thirsty, and definitely on the way while we are driving, we may drink a little bit of tender coconut. And those days, you imagine every other place you can have a natural fruit drink or tender coconut. So people used to just stop by and then start drinking the tender coconut and the natural fruit juices. But today, you can't even imagine to stop your vehicle for drinking a tender coconut. You just take, for example, from Klang to KL on the way in a federal highway or in Kassas highway, to show me one guy who is selling a tender coconut on the ways. You cannot see anything there. So this is how, when you're looking at, there are a lot of good things available, but we are not utilizing to the best of our ability. Now, saying that, what is that we need to do is, getting back to the cell. I would repeatedly request every one of you that whatever we are doing today, we need to look at the cell part of it. That means the foundation of our whole system of our body lies with the healthy cell. Even though we may not look at one cell particularly and then start working on it, but our responsibility is, we need to look at the 50 trillion cells which are there working synchronically with everything together, and then as an organ they all have interactions, right from the brain to the kidneys to the heart to liver to the your gut system, to your skin, to the eyes, to ears. Everybody are interlinked, Now just imagine if they do not cooperate and work together. Now what will happen is, if one organ says, no, 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 I'm not going to work here. Today I'm going to do this particular work, and this I'm not going to do. Or if your body, for example, your kidney says, hey, your heavy metals are too much, I don't think I can cleanse it. What will happen is, all the poison which will be inside your body will cause more problem. So in that way, if you see, when your body is working in a synchronized manner among each other in the single body, why not we human beings also do the same thing? So we all can take a lot of information and the good things what our single human body can do, and in that way we all need to understand and work together in a way where we need to, it is always hand in glove as a situation where we have to work together in cooperation. So in that way, cell plays a very, very important role, and it all joins together to form a tissue all join together form an organ, and then finally you're a human body. Overall, you look at it is a human body. So in that way, when you're looking at cell part of it, most of the time we do not understand, we do not look into the cellular part. But still, what I would say is, let's look into it slowly, step by step. So in that way, to just generalize the situation, simple, everybody knows the whole earth is covered by 70% of water. And the same thing goes with human being, is we also are having 70% of water in our body. Now with the 70% of you, or if you look at, your brain has its own percentage, the heart has its own percentage, then your lungs has its own, they all have their own percentage of amount of water which is stored inside for them to function. Now in general, when you look at our ocean, the 2/3 of water which is covered, and only 1/3 is our land. Can you see there, on the left side, it's your ocean is saline, that is salt water, which is almost 97%. That means it's a huge chunk. That means we are only surrounded by water. Now, how much of the fresh water is available is only 3%. It's only 3%. But in that 3% only, you and me as human beings, we are going to utilize it for our day-to-day activities, right? From our drinking water to, for our bathing, to cooking, to everything. Now, just imagine, is it only human beings who are going to, the 7.8 billion population is going to use this fresh water, which is the 3%? No, even animals need it. Birds need it. So in that way, if you look at it, it's a teamwork. We all have to share what we have on this planet Earth. We can't be selfish. Now, from the 3%, if you look at how much is the ice and the glaciers, it's almost 68 to 69%. You can just, for easier purposes, 70%. There also, ice is 70%. The remaining 30% is only our groundwater, and even that groundwater, if you look at the surface water, which is a very, very minimal amount we have, and which is almost only, you look at it, is almost out of that 3%, 0.3% is 87% lakes are there. In that, its rivers is only 2%, and the other swamp is around 11%. So imagine now how much delicate water is, and how much scarce the water is. It's just a little amount, but for you and me, we don't even feel that the water what we are using is such a small percentage. But for you and me, the way we use the water in our bathrooms, the way we waste water, it's quite a bit actually. And there are a lot of people out there who do not have basic drinking water facility. So here, definitely, I would request every one of you that we all need to consider our fellow human beings in general, and see how well we can assist them through in whatever little ways of saving the water. So saving the water right from now, if we teach our children, definitely the future, when we leave and go, we may not be available to be present on the planet Earth all for the next 100 years. But at least when we are leaving this planet Earth, let us give something for our future generation and go. So saying that, if you look at our basic cell part of it, before we proceed, okay, now when we look at the cell, we have something called intracellular fluid. That means we have a cell and there is the fluid inside. And if you look at this human being who is a 70 kgs weight, how much of water is there inside his whole body? It's around 42 liters of water. Now, we can't even believe that we have 42 liters of water, isn't it? Now, in that 42 liters, now how many liters are there inside your cell? The 50 trillion cells I'm talking, it's 28 liters of water which is distributed among the 50 trillion cells. Then we have something called the extracellular, that's outside the cell. It's around 14 liters. Now just imagine 42 liters of water you need. Just 2% of water, if it is reduced, 2%, if it is reduced, what will happen is automatically your body will start showing some symptoms of dehydration, just 2%. So in that way, what we need to understand is it's a huge way what God has created, and the metabolism, everything is so perfect in what they are doing. Just a little bit can change a lot of things. So in that way, instead of going in for dehydration, you need to look at how to hydrate yourself. Now, here it's a beautiful picture of the cell. Now, why should you, what basically is hydration? If you're looking at what basically is hydration, I would say when you have sufficient amount of water, both for intracellular, that means inside the cell and the outside cell, for functioning of the whole body in an optimal way is hydration. That means it is doing its job. With the water, your body will do what it needs to do. Now, in the cell, there is one particular this one which is very, very important is your mitochondria. Now, it is called the powerhouse of the cell. So that means it's the main generator. It's the main person without which your cell cannot function. So in that way, when that is such an important organ, now let's go to the next slide. Now the mitochondria, or the powerhouse of the cells, are like a motor that makes the cell function. Now the cell cannot function properly without proper fuel. You need to give fuel to your mitochondria. So namely, what is the final, when you, even if you look at the water, it finally get divided into hydrogen molecules and the oxygen molecules. So hydrogen molecules from water and electrolytes. Please note that in the electrolytes, sodium, potassium and chloride, these are the three main, very, very important molecules which keeps your hydration in balance, both intracellular and extracellular. So very important for you, you need to have the right amount of salts inside your body with trace elements. That is when you are able to function normally. But in general, when you see what happens, many times when your blood pressure is high, doctor will say you cannot take sodium. Correct. If too much of sodium is there, then water goes inside. But at the end of the day, what will happen is when you check the blood for the sodium level, it will be mostly normal or near normal, it will be there. But when the doctor says you should take less of salt, that means whatever salt we are taking is not good for our health. So then what is the salt we are supposed to take, which will not enhance your blood pressure? So in that way, if you look, bamboo salt plays a very, very important role in our day-to-day salt intake, which definitely will not increase your BP. Because I have seen, and I've been using the bamboo salt for almost 13 years now, and it won't increase your blood pressure. That's an amazing salt. So in that way, we should look at what, instead of the artificial salts which are prepared with so many ingredients inside, and at the end of the day, if it increases your blood pressure, it's not good for you. So now coming back to your mitochondria, which plays a very, very important role in your production of energy, in that the water molecule where the hydrogen plays a very, very important role. Now, if you're looking at in general, like all aspects of our health and wellness rely on a good hydration. So no matter what your goal is, hydration is the answer. Can you believe this? This statement I picked up from one of the quotes, and I it's a particular UK based water research company which they have been working on water molecules. So they have mentioned this particular thing, saying that good hydration plays a very, very important role on your health and wellness. So it's something amazing that we all need to. Today's topic, we are talking about hydration, and then it's something very beautiful. Now, why is cellular hydration? Now, we are all thinking that just drinking water is sufficient, but I would say no. Let's get into the cellular hydration, which is very, very important. Why is that? Now, water plays such an important role in our defense mechanism. Now, if it is defense mechanism, there is something called inflammation. See, most of the human beings today, you can take right from diabetes to rheumatoid arthritis to joint pains to diabetes to blood pressure to heart issues to liver issues. Most of the time, the basic reason for your problem is inflammation. Now, if inflammation is a problem, then how do we actually bring down your inflammation? Now, inflammation, it's a natural process. It will happen in your body. Why? Because of your food habits, because of your external environmental living condition. Now, if you're living in a city like KL and our Klang and all, definitely the pollution is very high, vehicular pollution. We are bombarded with a lot of radiation through our mobile phones, with our TV towers. There are so many ways we have been bombarded with radiation. That means when there is a lot of positive ions, even watching a television, LED television, today's latest, this one is your LED television, you sit very nearby also, it is emitting a lot of positive ions. I'm talking about the molecular level, positive ions. So the more positive ions, the more inflammation your body will go through. If inflammation is there, then the slowly what will happen is it can get into a disease process, and in a disease can be formed. Now, nobody can tell, okay, this person is going to get diabetes, this person is going to get cancer, this person is going to get blood pressure because of inflammation. Your body's response to that situation, that particular disease will be opened up, and then you will start having the issues there. Like recently, you would have come to know that a lot of people after the vaccination, they're all going through some autoimmune situation. Now, autoimmune situation can give rise to many diseases. Suddenly a person can have an heart attack, suddenly a person can have diabetes, suddenly a person will notice that his blood pressure is going high, suddenly cancer is coming up. We do not know why is it happening, but all the basic reason is because of inflammation. Now, optimal hydrated cell means your chances of fighting and reducing the inflammation increases. So once again, your hydration plays a very, very important role. Now, other than that, what your body also will make some waste products, and we call it as free radical damage. And it is produced from, it can produce from stress, your emotional or physical, and from the outside influences and the environmental toxins. Now, something very beautiful is in the water molecule, we have something called hydrogen, right? Now, with the electrolytes, it's not just the hydrogen molecule which plays an important role in your hydration. You need to have sufficient amount of salt, like your sodium, your potassium should be sufficient enough. Then automatically your detoxifying of cells will happen. And it is like a mini trash disposal units. Each cell, it can throw out very easily. And now there's a clinical study that extra oxygen, hydrogen, if a person is drinking an extra hydrogen rich water, there is a 39% boost in the antioxidant ability. What is antioxidant is basically when there is a free radical damage, that means it's like stealing the oxygen and going. Your free radical damage is basically the person is, someone is stealing the oxygen. Now here, if you are talking about antioxidant, means it will be donating one oxygen molecule to that particular water molecule. What happens is once that oxygen is given, so the free radical damage is neutralized. Now, this is something very beautiful, that it acts like an antioxidant. And in fact, our terahertz also acts like an antioxidant. Now, this is something very, very new. I found that this is available. And then how do you measure your cellular hydration? What we used to say is put one, prick one blood drop, and then you can see in the television where with the microscope, you can see how well is your cellular hydration. Now, in that, definitely we can sell, there is a cellular hydration, but I felt this particular instrument, which is called bioelectrical impedance analysis, now BIA machine, is something very, very beautiful, where you can actually, there is a specific reading between 1 to 10, and the score of 10 indicates that your cell are properly hydrated. Isn't that something beautiful? But I do not know where this machine is available. I just picked up from one of the scientific journals, and then they were talking about this. So definitely we need to look at this particular, at least we'll know how much is our no, because there are a lot of people who are drinking our terahertz water also, but we do not know how much of hydration our cells are having. So this will be a wonderful investment, wherein we can buy this, and then probably we will know exactly how much is our cell hydrated. Now in the thing, if you look at, definitely there is a situation where you, our what is that, an average score for a healthy person is around 5 to 7, average score. But if your score is around 10, that means you are well hydrated. And if it is 5 and below, that means you're a dehydrated. That means you can always tell when you're drinking sufficient water or not. So this is something I picked up today. I think it is a wonderful information that today I picked up. So we need to look at where to get this machine, this particular device, so that we can check our hydration levels inside our body. Okay, now if we have a proper hydration, what is the benefit you can get? Definitely, number one, improved brain function. That means if your brain, for example, if your hydration is good and you're driving a car, definitely your brain functions are much better. That means you know what to do, when to apply the brakes, when to accelerate, when to turn left, when to turn right. You don't have that fog of brain. Why? Because of hydration. So that means such of those who are all traveling long distances, you need to make sure that you drink sufficient amount of water. But many times what people tell me is, doctor, if I go to drink water, then definitely I need to go to washroom. This is one excuse I hear from a lot of people. But I would request that, yes, it is a situation where it will be difficult, but I would say we need to look at solutions wherein to utilize that facility of washroom. We need to look at the solutions instead of avoiding it. We need to look at how we can execute and give the benefit of to the body. And especially imagine if your kidney functions will be affected if your water, if your hydration is less, you are definitely you will have a problem with the kidneys. Now just imagine, is there anybody in the world who can come and donate one kidney for you? Even though God has given us two kidneys, even in one place the other one can take over and work. Even then, if both the kidneys fail, what will happen? Who is going to donate you one kidney? Nobody is going to do that. But at least in that way, why not we drink water and look for a washroom and then go, at least utilize the facility and hydrate your kidneys as well. Now your improved gut system, that means for your gut, which is plays a very, very important role in absorbing all the nutrition from your food, what you eat. Water plays a very, very important role. Other than that, if there are toxins available, if you are drinking sufficient amount of water, it just washes and then pushes it away. So it is good for you to drink sufficient amount of water for proper hydration for gut mechanism. Even there's a spelling mistake here, improved heart function. Actually it is improved heart function. Basically your heart can function better. Why do we say this? Now if you drink sufficient amount of water and hydration is good, the water thickness or the blood thickness, the viscosity of the blood is much thinner. Now one thing we all have to understand, that when you are 50 years of age plus, what will happen is your blood automatically will become thicker. And you would have seen many times when you have some cardiac issues or you had a stroke, doctors will put you on blood thinners. All right. Now, what this blood thinner does is it makes your blood a little watery so that it can travel through the vessels easily. But if you're drinking sufficient amount of water, naturally, especially our terahertz resonated water, it will dilute because the viscosity of our water is minus 680, which is very, very good for you to make your blood a little more thinner. So it is a natural blood thinner actually, but the effect may not be the same like what you're drinking, what you're taking, especially aspirin or warfarin. It may not be like a chemical effect, but definitely when you look at in a long run, it is going to give you a good benefit. Improved liver function. Now, liver plays a very, very important role in detoxification. So it is a major powerhouse of detoxification. There also your liver needs a lot of water. So you have to drink sufficient water to give your liver the capacity to do the cleansing part of it. Then comes your kidney. Kidney also needs sufficient. Now, kidney just doesn't need water alone. It needs a little bit of sodium, little bit of potassium, little bit of chloride. These three are very, very important for your kidneys to function normally. But if you look at trace element, there is something called trace element, which is easily available in bamboo salt. If you take a bamboo salt, 6-burn bamboo salt or a 9-burn bamboo salt, there are 80 minerals and trace element which is there inside. But if you look at the normal salt, what you buy for 2 ringgits or 3 ringgits, or even Himalaya salt, you are paying around 8 ringgits per kg, you may not have all the ingredients or the trace elements which is there in a bamboo salt. So you using bamboo salt will be an advantage. So you can, the best choice I would recommend would be use buy around 200 grams of our bamboo salt, then mix it with 1 kg of your natural bamboo salt, mix it up and then start using it. It's good enough. Of course, some people don't like the smell of it, and then sometimes the flavor of it people don't like. But I would say when it is good for your health, why not? You should look into it. Other than that, we have for the joint mobility, you need to drink sufficient amount of water. For the eyes to have a normal moisturization, you need to have drink sufficient amount of water. For temperature regulation also for your body, many times I have noticed that when you have slight fever and then when you drink sufficient amount of water, it neutralizes all the toxins and then your fever comes down without even taking any medication. So it all depends on how much of water are you drinking regularly, and it improves your sinus and lung function also. If hydration is good, then you may not have a lot of sinus issues, because even the toxins what is available or even the dust particles, when it comes, it gets washed up because sufficient water inside your body knows what to do. Then improved detox mechanism, improved sleep. Can you believe if you drink sufficient amount of water, you can sleep better? That is something amazing. Then improved stamina. This is something I noticed that whenever we drink Tera's water and I go to gym, you will not feel tired actually. So that is something which I noticed. Why? Because it enhances your energy fields. This is, I have shown you many times in my experiments where you just spray the water and the energy is very high. So you need to drink sufficient amount of water, and especially our Tera's water gives you a. Now coming to weight loss management, how does hydration and weight loss management? So if at all you really want to do a weight management, definitely just drinking Tera's water and then avoiding all the food and then just go on a water diet. Definitely your weight management can be done. But such of those who are all more than 100 kgs, there might be necessary for you to look into your liver and kidney support with gut support as well for your weight loss management. So do not go in for shortcuts. Try with water first. If it doesn't happen, then of course you need to get our opinion, and then we will able to guide you. Now, water plays such an important role in allergy management. Have you ever seen, if you feel itchy, you just spray our Tara's water and see after some time it will actually slowly come down. You don't need to take antihistamines. And if you have allergic situation, you just drink water and see invariably the allergies will come down. But the problem with human beings is we don't wait until some time for the body to act. We want to pop up some medicines immediately so that we get the benefit of, yo, this particular itching is so problematic, so I need to stop it. So you want to just pop in a medicine. But those days, if you see, where was the antihistamine available? It was not there. But so people used to go on the natural mechanism. So here also, if you look at the food habits, what we are consuming. Now, most of us, if you see, 70% of our food, what we eat is all oily. Number one. Number two, it is definitely the producing a lot of free radicals. And at the end of the day, if you're taking only 5 to 10% of watery vegetables, watery fruits, and drinking less of water, your body becomes acidic. So acidic body creates more problem for your diseases. So that means you are prone for diseases. So one fine day when you come to us and then we tell you to drink water, and then it's not going to solve your problem. It will take probably 6 months to 1 year before your body can adapt to your drinking of water, then your balancing of food habits, everything. It's a collective phenomena wherein we are supposed to give our body the best of our whatever we need to, and then expect the best result is your body will retaliate in the same way as giving you good health. But you do all the wrong things under the sun, and then finally when the disease sets in, you are expecting some miracles to happen inside your body, is something not genuine for our human being to accept that situation. But you need to look at, definitely start your practice of drinking water, proper food habits, proper sleep habits, reducing your free radical damage, usage of phone to be, it's called digital detox. You should switch off the phone for at least 4 to 8 hours at night time, switch it off so that there is no usage of phone. Something like this, we all need to start working on so that we, at least for the next number of years to live, is a possibility. If you see majority of the people to cross even 50 to 60 years of age, it's a difficult situation. You see a lot of people are dying very, very young. But if anybody is above 50 years, and then that is a blessing for you, you are doing a good job. So what you need to do is take care of yourself for the next 20 to 30 years. Cut down all on the meat and meat products, milk and milk products. Then cut down on all the oily products. Cut down on the your exposure to your digital abuses. So all this will automatically keep your lifespan a little longer than what you can think of. Now, let's get into the dehydration mode. What will happen? It just happens. Why should a dehydration happen? Number one, because you're drinking less amount of water. Number two, when the environmental temperature is high. Right now in Malaysia, its temperature is a little high. So that means you need to drink a little more water. Other than that, it can be because of when you have a lot of vomiting and diarrhea, definitely your hydration is not good. But this is something, the last but one, that is because of the large molecule. See, most of the tap water, filtered tap water, you can be drinking Cove water, you can be drinking any filtered water, the molecular size will be nothing less than 80 to 90 will be the molecular size. But our cell will only absorb if your molecular size is between 40 to 60. If it is between that, it is easily absorbed. So in the market, if you look at the molecular size, terahertz resonated water is around 7.6. That means it's the smallest molecule available in the market. So don't you think that gives you an advantage for you to speak to people, for them to drink terahertz resonated water, because the molecular size is smaller. So if you're bigger molecule you're drinking, definitely your hydration may not be sufficient. Now, if you do not have enough salt, that means your potassium, sodium, and chlorides. If it is not also, you are drinking water, but these salts are less, then automatically you will have dehydration. Now, as I told you previously, dehydration, it takes only 2% loss of the total water content and your body starts feeling thirsty. Once you are at this point, the body is already in a state of dehydration. And imagine if it is, we are talking about cellular dehydration, it just goes unnoticed. So when you have a cellular, it definitely affects what? The same, I can reverse all the problem, what goodness I gave you, it can go the other way. So there will be a metabolic problems, there will be imbalance between the intracellular and extracellular, the wastage solutes are all retained back inside the cell, and even outside the cell, it doesn't go out. Then automatically it can affect your DNA. Imagine if the toxins are there inside your cell, that in turn can affect your DNA, isn't it? So these are all long-term problems we may face because of improper drinking water, because of dehydration. And there are a lot of diseases which are result of cellular dehydration. But you would have heard in our terahertz community here in our groups, a lot of people, their skin diseases has been healed, diabetes has come down, blood pressure is much better, cancer is much better. Like that, there are a lot of testimonies. But I would say, let the body do the function. Your job is only to drink sufficient amount of water, and it should help your body to do what it needs to do. Your job is to drink the water, let the remaining part of it take care of it on its own, because your body is much more intelligent than what you can think. Your intelligence is only a grain, but your cellular intelligence is much 1,000 times bigger than what you and I, our brain intelligence is. That's the way God has created us. So with this kind of wonderful multicellular organism, what we are, with a multifaceted functioning, what AR I was talking, the artificial intelligence, just imagine our cells intelligence. You are taking one big apple and then it goes inside. Your body knows what are the vitamins it's supposed to take and to digest. Just visualize that in your vision, and then see how beautiful our body is. Now just drinking water, it goes inside and then it goes inside your cell, and then it, and then everything starts working properly. And you drink, the kidneys, if there is extra water, it throws it out. So like that, if you see, there are a lot of so beautiful things our body is. You should start appreciating your body, how beautifully it functions. When you appreciate it, automatically there is a lot of, it reverts back saying that, okay, fine, I know you are thankful for whatever we are doing, so what we will do, let's also be thankful. So the body will do what it needs to do for you in terms of good health. Now, what are the symptoms of dehydration? Now these are all just in I would say, it may not be there can be other. For example, if I'm going to talk about bad breath, it's not just dehydration alone, but if you can think of less water, the waste products are still backlogged there, automatically your mouth can smell. Now forget about mouth. Most of the time your bad breath is because of your gut problem. If your gut is not healthy, automatically you can have a bad breath. So many of us wouldn't know that bad breath is from your gut actually. But on the other side, it can be a local problem. It can be because of your teeth. It can be because of your gum. It can be because of some ulcers in your mouth. There are many, or there can be some infection, the gum infection. It can be from your tooth infection. You can have a bad breath. So the causes are many, but dehydration is one of the ways where it will tell you that you are having bad breath. Other than that, dark colored urine, you can have a headache, you can have fatigue, you can have dry eyes, you can have skin elasticity. Now this, I think a lot of people would have seen that when you spray the our terahertz resonated water on your face, your face looks much glowing. Why? Because there is a lot of hydration. And it is a good thing that when you spray regularly your terahertz water, especially after you go out and come back, and when you spray water to your face, at least your face will remove all the toxins which you have collected when you went out and exposed yourself. So to detox also, that will be another wonderful way of helping your body to detox. Body becomes heaty, if you drink less water, automatically your body, you feel heaty. Then you can have muscle cramps. This is very commonly we see people will have muscle cramps. Now here, it is not just hydration which plays an important role in your muscle cramp. I would say potassium deficiency plays a very important role in your muscle cramp. Now this is something you all need to look into. Now if such of those you have a little bit of muscle cramp in your legs or in your shoulder or on your back, what you need to do is, the only experiment you can try it on yourself is just buy one tender coconut and drink. One tender coconut, drink it up and see. If your spasm goes off, if your cramps goes off, that means it's because of potassium deficiency. It's a very simple this one. By drinking tender coconut, your potassium is supplemented. Now, other than that, constipation. Of course, if your gut doesn't have a proper amount of lubrication with water, of course, you will have constipation. And feeling giddy. Why? Because when there is your water is less, of course, your blood pressure, it can go up, or sometimes what will happen, it can go down also. It's a little tricky situation for human beings where the body can go up or the other way down. So you need to understand that dehydration does cause a lot of problems. So do not allow the body to get into a dehydration situation. Now, the most important criteria for cellular hydration. There is a door of the cell called aquaporin. Now, water molecule must pass through the aquaporin so that it should be small enough. As I told you before, if your molecular size of water is between 40 to 60, the cell, it will go inside very easily. But if your water is 7.6, just like our Terra has written, that means it's much more easier for your body to absorb the water inside, and then they can do the things much more easily. Now, Terra's water is 7.6. Now, if you look at our cellular function also, it is something very beautiful that smaller the molecule, the better for you. So in that way, our Terra has resonated water molecule is so small that it can penetrate into your cell and then hydrate it. Now, can you see the clusters here? That means all the molecules are joined together. If it is more than 5 to 6 clusters together, then it becomes difficult for us to, the water molecule to go inside the aquaporin. Bigger, or even if it is a bigger molecule, definitely it can't go inside. Now, if the molecule is linear like what we have in a terahertz resonated water, it is just straight, what happens? Everybody can go inside, every molecule can go inside the cell and then hydrate it much more easily. So this was actually Peter Agre in 1992. They won a Nobel Prize in 2003 for finding that there is something called water gates. It's called aquaporin. Something very beautiful. Now, where do we need water for? We need water for so many organs. Every organ needs, every cell needs your water. So that means from your brain to muscle to kidneys to nose to spleen to eyes to intestines to lungs to liver to heart. So in other words, I would say every cell in your body will need water. So please hydrate yourself very well so that every cell works beautifully to their best of their ability. And here we have our terahertz resonator which is a very low frequency resonator. Low frequency is much better. Now, the best example I can give you is, imagine your brain waves. Your brain waves, if it is beta waves, it's 15 to 18 hertz per second. That means it's going at a faster rate. Now, the same brain waves, it comes down slowly, low frequency. That means theta waves is between 4 to 8. What happens? You're much clearer. There are a lot of problem solving situation. Your brain, you can and you can able to do things much more in an intelligent manner when the brain waves are going slow. If your brain waves are going fast, cannot. That means high frequency. So if you're looking at high frequency, there are a lot of damages it can cause to your body. If it is a low frequency, less damage. So terahertz resonator is a low frequency resonator. So there is a lot of advantage. So in the future, of course, we may look into MRIs from machine, which is terahertz MRI machine, terahertz CT machines, and X-rays. See, even though X-ray is supposed to be very safe, every time you expose yourself to X-rays, definitely there's a lot of radiation happening. But more than the radiation of your X-rays, your CT scan, your MRIs, the worst radiation for you and me is from the environment. That means the sun rays coming and falling on with the pollution, and it penetrates into your skin is much more poisonous. But you and I cannot even realize that there is a poison going in, because it takes years for you to even see that the radiation part going inside and then converting into lead poisoning. See, ultimately, whatever radiation we are talking, the smallest molecule of radiation is lead. Finally, it will become lead actually. So the lead is the one which is causing a lot of problem for most of us, right from a dementia to your Alzheimer's in the brain, like that. If you look at lead poisoning, really causes a lot of problem. Now, in that way, if you look at hydrating your body and then avoiding as far as possible exposing ourselves to unnecessary radiation will help us to make our life a little more easy by living a healthy lifestyle. So where all we can use our resonator, of course, you can use any liquid. Definitely you can use the water. For water as our first priority, you can use it on oils, juices, any liquids. In fact, I have tried resonating even Clorox water, and then when I find it, the capacity for that particular resonated Clorox also is much very good. In fact, I have resonated your detergents, liquid detergents. I have resonated and I use for my clothing. So you just need to use little bit. If I'm using 15 ml of normal detergent, when I resonate it, you can use only 5 ml because it creates more lather because of the molecular structure, because smaller molecule better for us. So ultimately, if you look at when we resonate our this one, what happens is with a low frequency, there is a lot of now can you read this song? It changes the water molecule, and the transmission of information is easier to control the metabolic activities and maintain a healthy environment to achieve health and self-healing. See, very important is your body needs to do the self-healing. Now, if at all your body wants self-healing, you need to give something natural. If you're giving natural, your body will heal. But if you're giving some chemicals in terms of tablets, in terms of medicines you're giving, drugs you're giving, definitely your body will not be able to heal itself. But definitely that particular disease may come down. So in that way, you have to look into natural methodology for healing yourself. So right from beginning to drinking water, to your food habits, to your sleeping habits, to your exercise, to your mental attitude, to your mindset, everything plays a very important role. So low frequency definitely can help to remove harmful chemicals and harmful magnetic radiation, and also rewrite the harmful magnetic messages of the water molecule which you have previously written. So by drinking the terahertz resonated or the structured water, you can actually give the benefit of healing, rewriting, but it may take a little longer period for you to understand that you're becoming a healthy individual. In the meantime, while drinking water, maybe you may face certain time situation of a diseases. It's still fine. Go ahead with it and see what is the best solution. Now, low frequency resonator like the water, it is stable to boiling, and it is stable to X-ray exposure, and to high pressure also will not affect resonated water. And resonated oil, this is something very good. Resonated oil, it reduces absorption by 19 to 20% in cooking. That is something very beautiful. In fact, whatever you fry with resonated oil, your Terra has resonated oil, is much more crispier, and it is not that very oil. Now, resonated water also helps your intestinal bacteria. So it is good for your good bacteria. So they will drink the water and then they are much more happier. So what is the take-home message I wish to give you all is definitely you need to have a balance of hydration plays a very important role. So what you need to do, go back home and then you need to work on something. Drinking water plays a very important. Now what you need to do, drink sufficient amount of water. How much of water you need to drink? Multiply by 42 into your weight. For example, if you are a 50 kg weight, 42 into 50 is equal to 2000 ml. That means per day you are supposed to drink 2 liters of water per day. So just multiply whatever your weight is, that is the amount of water you are supposed to drink. Number two, it is necessary add salt. So which salt? Immediately I will definitely recommend you go for bamboo salt, is the best for you to add on to the water and drink. That is very easy. But normal salt, of course, you cannot mix it in mix a normal Himalayan salt into your water and drink. Your blood pressure and all will shoot up. Drinking Tara's resonated water is the best solution for now. It's good. But if you are a smoker by chance, if you're a smoker and if you're eating oily food, you're a non-vegetarian, please consume more water. You need to just add up a little more water than, for example, you're a 50 kg and you're supposed to drink 2 liters of water. If you're going to eat all the oily food, please drink around 2.5 liters to 3 liters of water. What will happen is you're not overhydrating, but when you're eating all these kind of food, your body needs a little extra water. It's simple, like if your vessels are like whatever food you eat, it's very oily and you put it in the wash basin for cleaning, you might need a little extra water, right, for it to be cleansed. It's with same amount of water what a normal food you're going to clean, that vessel will not be able to. So in the same way, our body also, if you're eating a lot of oily and spicy food with what is that? The free radicals which produced by eating a little acidic food. Definitely you need to drink a lot of water so that it gets neutralized. And please do not wait until you feel thirsty and then only you realize that yes, you are thirsty and you're going to drink water. Please don't do that. Hydrate yourself whether you like it or not, because this is only one life God has given you. Utilize to the best of your ability. Drinking water is something, make it as a passion for you, and drink sufficient amount of water. Give the benefit to your cells to work in an optimal way and to be disease free. Let's drink water to hydrate ourselves. So now all you believe need not be true, but what is true, you have to believe. The truth is, drinking water is very, very important for you. And in life, you have to have the ABC. What is? Always be careful, be smart. The most intelligent is human beings. You are intelligent, I am intelligent.